members of the congregation. You are now here on a Wednesday with Easy, the tech preacher. Truth to be told.
It's Wednesday, hey, tell me, are you ready? It's Wednesday, hey, tell me, are you ready? It's Wednesday, tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's easy, yep, tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher. All the real wired ones, where you at? 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 All the real wired ones, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
What's going on, y'all? Yes, indeed. Y'all know I got to get that theme song in there, man. Yes, indeed. Welcome to another episode of Wired Wednesday, baby. The day of the week that we go in. I got the wired ones in the building, and we're going to talk about features on the smartphone, the features that you don't use that you ought to be using on the smartphone. So today, y'all, we're going to talk about it. This, you know what I'm saying? I got my man Heroic Vision in the building. I holler at your boy. I got Barry in the building. That's what
Once
I'm talking
again,
about.
it's on.
Man, you know, one of the things that I like about doing these live streams, man, is that they all are scripted, right? We up and we have a good debate. We talk about all the exciting things. We got people got viewing parties. We got people that do all kinds. They got their drinks up. They say we got the tech preacher in the building along with the wired ones. We're gonna enjoy these 2 hours to get away from it all. And I appreciate that for people. You know what I'm saying? You know, what I did, we had a holiday Monday, right? Shout out to all the troops. And man, it felt good to put those huge ass steaks on the grill, bro. Like I had these huge, this absolutely big old steaks my wife went and got, right? And I put it on the grill, and man, I cooked them to perfection. You know, let them sit on there about 8 minutes on one side, about 8 minutes on the other side.
So how do you like your steak?
I like it medium, right?
Medium?
Okay.
Oh, you like it bleed?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, medium.
Man,
when I was eating,
like
it was
it bleed?
medium rare.
Medium,
baby,
bro.
medium.
Man, see,
Y'all
you like a rubbery steak.
No, I like medium well. I like medium well.
I used to eat it well done for like most of my life. For the past 3 years, I got medium. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute!
Oh yeah,
this is different."
Can taste it. You can actually taste it.
Yeah, I was like, "This is different."
We talked about nice and juicy, man. The juices was coming out that steak, man. Nice and I can say medium, not on the well side, but this medium. A touch of wellness, right? And I think it comes out good, man. It was nice,
Just right.
It had that nice little chocolate flavor in there, man. Oh, it was good. The wife hooked it up. I marinated it in Italian dressing, right? Let it sit for about 2 hours. Put it on the grill. It was a good taste, man. It was really good. Big old nice pretty ribeye, man. It was really good. I did that Monday.
You had juicy meat. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That juicy meat.
That had that meat, baby. It was good.
You like that meat?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
So man, that's how we enjoyed our Monday, man. You know what I'm saying? If you this get away from I didn't film no videos. My wife, I couldn't even do anything in this. I was banned from the studio for a day. Right.
Banned in the studio USA.
I got too much work to do. And my wife like, nah, not today, baby.
No, sir.
Hey.
But sometimes you do got to get away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get away. You know. But yeah, let's talk about smartphones, man, because I think people, and I get this all the time. You know, I make a video about a feature on a smartphone, features that probably been there forever. But people like, I didn't know that phone had that feature. I didn't know that phone could do that. And I come to the determination that people don't utilize their devices to the full of its potential.
Correct.
I mean, you know, a lot of people always make this statement about, I just want to open up the camera app and take a shot. Well, that ain't how you take a photo. You got to, you know, compose the shot. You got to, you know, get the shot right or whatever. Go into manual mode, adjust all your settings, your white balance and all that stuff like that, you know, because I'm like this. If a person can't wait 5 seconds for me to make my adjustments, then I'm not taking a photo. I ain't taking no world style hip hop photos where you got to hurry up and take a shot. And I think people complain about, you know, Samsung shutter speed because they're just trying to hurry up and take a shot. I think the point of cameras is taking that perfect photo. And if a person can't stand for a second and let you make your adjustments, or you can't, you know, pace yourself on taking that good photo, then I don't need to take the photo. I'm just like that. Like if I'm taking a group photo, they gonna wait 5 seconds, right? Be people that anxious that they can't wait 5 seconds until you make the appropriate changes and stuff like that on your phone, just to get that perfect shot. I think, you know, and I think that's a feature that people don't use. I mean, pro features. I mean, that is an awesome feature. I know a lot of people say, "Well, I don't use that." Here's the thing: if you're not going to use none of the features on the phone, why you buy expensive phones? Like I don't. That's just my thing. Like if you're not going to use the phone because I mean, most tech enthusiasts, so-called tech enthusiasts, they keep saying they buying a new phone, they buying a new phone, they buying this, they buying. And then when you ask them about pro mode, you ask them about different features on the phone, they're like, I don't use that. I don't do that. I don't do
It's like, so why'd you buy the Ultra or the Pro Max version then?
That's right. Why you buy the Ultra? Why you buy the Pro Max? If you're not going to use pro features.
Exactly. You're still using auto mode on everything. Then what's the point of buying that? Look, like for your mirrorless cameraless DSLR, you don't let the camera dictate how you want to take the video. You don't want the camera to adjust the white balance and aperture for you. You want to do all that yourself. I don't want the phone to dictate how a photo should look. I want my photo to look the way I want it to look. You know, so I mean, you know, shout out to everybody that's in the building. I seen the Flames hit the building. I seen the Flames.
That was Vipe.
Well, I'll just take the devil's advocate part.
Okay.
So some people like and they should watch a lot of YouTube reviewers, because most YouTubers, whether they have a S23 Ultra or any phone, they're not going to go into pro mode. They're going to go side by side and let the camera dictate and then post it, you know, and then declare a winner, right? But I think people should watch videos, you know, because there are some cameras that are really good at doing auto, right? They're really good, or I should say phones that are really good at doing auto. But there might be a phone that may struggle at times, that is better at pro mode, but you like their style of photos.
Yeah, that's
every
true.
single
That's
time.
True.
So I would look at it like that, because I understand where there are people that they just all they want to do is take the phone out, snap a photo, and keep it moving.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
And even though I'm on the same page with you, Easy, I'd like to set up my shot and all that stuff, but I get where some people are just like, dude, I just need to take a photo, you know.
And, but you know, I got a new name for you know, common folk. I call them regular degglers, right? So the regular deggler people just going to open up the camera and take a photo. That's fine, right? And truth be told, a lot of regular degglers, you know, they start to come on my channel a little bit. Like when I say the word regular deggler, I've getting people hit me in the comments and the DM say, hey, I am one of those regular degglers. I'm like, all right, cool. So, you know, the regular degglers, you know, they want to learn. They want to know more about their devices besides the same old that a lot of reviewers talk about.
Yeah.
So when we go deep into pro mode and we talk about different things that you could do on your device, HDMI out. I saw a video today from Weinbeck.
Yeah, it was great.
This perfect video from Weinbeck now talking about how the Sony Xperia phones you can actually use it as a Ninja V.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, you could record
You can do
on the
record,
device 4K from your mirrorless camera on that device, just like a Ninja V. Awesome.
dope.
You know what? I got the Xperia. I didn't even know that, and that's why I like these. Even me as a tech enthusiast, I knew that the Xperia phones got HDMI out, but I did not know that you could do that.
Yeah.
So that's
nice.
why these videos are so important.
Yeah, there. So like literally, I took time. I'm actually about to change a couple of things in the studio. So I took some time off because I'll get questions like Ron Guido's in the chat. He's like, "Hey, on the OnePlus 11, how does it work with darker tone people?" So I'm like, "Man, I gotta get some of my daughter's friends that are influencers and pay them so I can start taking a lot of photos of them and do deeper dives than I'm doing." Because there's an audience out there that wants to know more, and how can I use the phone? Sort of like how Juan was like, hey, can this phone do this?
And some of the things I've been doing, right?
Yeah.
The microphone test, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, like you
because
save.
wanna-
I know you and Heroic like it when it's EQ and all that stuff, but you save me some money. You know me. I like to not have to EQ. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I
yeah,
can save money and get the 300. Just make sure my room is treated. I'm good.
So the 600
Or the 600, I should say.
Yeah, with the 600, and the good thing about that is I got a couple of shotgun microphones like the Rode and the NT1 and stuff like that I'm going to make plenty of video because look, the 416 is an $1,100 microphone, but I got microphones that cost $200, $150, $200, and I want to put it against a big dog so you can hear the difference between a professional grade Hollywood style microphone compared to consumer grade microphone. So there's a difference. The 416 is made for Hollywood studio movies and stuff like that. But people, they ain't gonna pay $1,100 for a microphone. I mean, we talk about this a lot about, because a lot of people don't. But can you replicate the same sound quality as with something like that? And that's what I want. I was making
Correct.
videos about that.
Correct.
And that's some things that people learn.
Oh yeah, exactly.
People get value out of stuff like
Get
that.
value out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
And but when Wineback Now dropped today, I was like, I got really, really good value out of that video because it's something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't even check it out yet.
Yeah. I mean, look, the video was great, man. I like
and
the
it wasn't like he was using a Sony mirrorless. It wasn't like Sony was like, oh no, we aren't going to do that on our cameras.
Right. He did it on the Panasonic.
On the Panasonic Lumix.
Yeah, he did it on the Panasonic. Yeah.
That's dope.
I mean, you think about this, right? I mean, look, the Sony devices is camera first, smartphone second, right? That's how I look at Sony devices.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you can use the Sony device to be your monitor and the Ninja V, if for people that
that saves you. So I need to go back through the video because I don't think it will have all the features of the Ninja V. It don't have all the features,
but it does.
Dude,
it does.
But the thing about it, if you can just get by where you leave, like, okay, I'm not doing where I'm doing Blackmagic Raw, right? Recording.
Right.
I'm just going out there. I need to get some high quality video. I want to have a monitor. I'm gonna have my phone. Man, that's clutch.
That's clutch. And as much as I be at the park filming,
oh my God, you could have that big monitor that Sony,
And sometimes I do bring a big monitor. I do have a 8-inch monitor that I do bring with me to the parks because I can't see on a little bitty ass twitchy monitor, right? So when I do go to the parks, I do bring a big monitor with me.
Be like a field monitor,
yeah, because I got the field monitor. So man, that'd be clutch.
Oh,
and to use a device like that. I mean, think about it. You can record 4K internally on the device.
Oh yeah,
that blew me away. That blew me away. And then we talk about features on the smartphone. Those type of features will bring your production to the next level. You think about that, right? I mean, you think about, okay, you got a mirrorless camera that you like to film with, but if you out in the field or if you want to shoot outside or something like that, you think about, okay, I got to buy a monitor. I got to buy this. I have to buy that to kind of rig out
you already got a phone.
You
You switch to a Sony phone. You already got it.
And if you got the phone, you're sitting up there like, I'm golden. Hit HDMI to USB Type C. It got HDMI out. You get a whole application.
High nits of brightness, where for outside.
Yeah.
Now, because think about it, with a field monitor, you got to make sure it has high enough nits, for outside.
Yes.
The battery life, you got to carry around external batteries and stuff. And it's like it's a pain.
There's a lot going for the Sony. There's a lot going for the Sony.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the most popular phones in the world is the Galaxy and the iPhone. That's the most popular devices in the world. Samsung vision is to make a all-in-one great device, but it ain't like a Sony phone that's catered to an audience of filmmakers,
and that's cool. That's cool. That's
cool.
Totally fine, right?
And so when you think about how Samsung and Apple, I don't know what kind of audience Apple trying to cater to. They're just all around. It's a great phone, but they're not. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're just really it's really a communicator device for.
It's really a communicator device
for most people, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, you got the the blue bubble and the green bubble.
Yeah.
And all that,
it works great in that.
I mean, I would never film with an iPhone, like unless you use third-party applications.
So
right?
I could film with an iPhone. You just have to know.
Really?
Just know the camera. The Spawn Point has like almost 500,000 subs. His whole channel is iPhone. He has some of the most top quality video.
Right?
No. Everything that you see in his video, and he gets products like 85-inch monitors, everything sent to him. Every stick of B-roll is done on iPhone.
Wow.
So if he shows some, he is fire, But you just have to know. You have to know your camera system, right?
Yeah.
You have to know that once you go indoors, that you have to do something different with the lighting and all that stuff, right?
Right. I mean, that's the only thing that gets me about auto mode. And look, when I make camera comparisons, I always put it in auto mode because I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go into a dark scenario, obviously the brightness level up on the device go way high, then that's when you get a lot of grain.
Yeah.
And then once you get into the a sunny part of an area, just say if you was outside, then all of a sudden it goes down, and then you start seeing maybe some fluctuations in the white balance and stuff like that. Now, I noticed if you point your phone to like green grass, then point your phone to a tree, you'll start seeing a total fluctuations in the color signs. All of a sudden, it start changing into all kinds of different things. Because remember 2 weeks ago, Heroic Vision, where you was making your videos, we saw.
Oh yeah, when on the live stream, yes.
Right. We saw how the color temperature was changing, how the wood was turning, like a yellowish brown, and then all of a sudden it turned into a white color. Then if you move it just a little bit, when you move the light around, all the colors just start fluctuating. That means you get difference of colors. You got all kinds of things like that. That drives me nuts. Especially in auto mode, but that's what you get from a smartphone because they're using, they're making the best based off of, how they believe they want the shot to look,
Or so like most of my phones now, like my Xiaomi, my Oppo, and my Vivo, it's rare that they get it wrong. What it is there's certain scenarios. It could be like me pointing it and the sun hits it or something like that, and it's like, oh, I've miscalculated. But it's like for most of the stuff, like if I'm gonna create something, I probably wouldn't even have to do white balancing with them. It's really gotten that good. But I definitely understand.
Yeah, and look, Mims, yeah, you're right. The auto mode is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And that's why
not for filmmaking.
Not for filmmakers,
but not for filmmaking.
So that's where I push back a little bit, right? So normally, yes, right? So there are 2 Sony cameras that just came out that a lot of creators aren't using white balance on. Like the one that just came out that overheats like crazy, but it's a great camera. The Sony ZV-E1. E1.
Okay.
Most of them are not even, they're like, I don't even use my white balance cards in this to go film. because it's spot on, right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I did definitely see, like I one of my favorite cameras of all time is what LaShun is always on, the Canon M50. And some of my first videos I had to go back and grade because I was like, how did I have auto white balance on? It was changing just in a top down situation, you know? So like I said, my latest phones, like I'm really not worried about them getting the white balance wrong. That's one of the least thing. I might worry about the exposure. I might worry about them like exposing a little too like a stop too high, or stop too or underexposing, right? But white balance, I'm not really worried about.
And you know what? I think like for me, I have
Look at Doodle ass.
I see, dude. I got my Canon 90D and all my cameras, they all white like me. I use a white card to balance out the white balance on them so they can be nice, even, Steven. And I saved the settings, right? So I got the settings set up for this environment. And when I take my that's it. So when I take my cameras outdoors, when I'm using the ND filters, I actually still use the same settings, and it looks like it works out great. Instead of using a whiteboard to
that's the biggest thing that I wish cameras, like a lot of phones would get is ND filters.
Oh man,
that's
that
the
would
one
be dope.
you know, because
don't they have a phone that has an ND filter on it?
so there's a lot of them that do, but I'm just saying I wish it was like I wish it was more mainstream. So like the Xiaomi has a kit that you can put on it.
You put on it,
you know, but I wish it was like more integrated, you know, because there's a lot of times where I'll be taking video and I'm like, man, this is just a little, and it could be all the phones I have. I'm like, this is just a little too bright from what the scene was, and they'll all nail the photo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that negotiation of moving the camera and all that stuff where it has to go like, okay, he's not standing still, causes some issues.
I mean, look, but I use my ND filter on the phone, and I don't have the clip-on ones. I actually
have
use
that too.
You have the clip-on. Yeah,
I use the clothes pin, and I got it nice right now.
Damn, nigga. What happened to the clip-on part?
Clip-on was only like $8, brother. I sent you the link.
But I didn't order it. So, but I wanted to go out and shoot a video. But it's, I mean, it's daytime, and the worst thing to shoot a video in the daytime when you got it in pro mode, and you got to take your shutter speed and put it. I mean, you got to change your shutter speed to a whack number, just to get it right.
Urban Fire is stupid.
You do get some off balance shots of video when you have to adjust your shutter speed so bad. That you do get that blurry effect, maybe some of that jittery stuff because you got the shutter speed all messed up on it. But once you put that ND filter on there, oh man, it makes the dynamic range so much better. It keeps you to that 180 rule, right? With your shutter speed and your and stuff
and
like
your
that.
ISO,
Your ISO, your shutter speed, it gets it right in the middle.
Proper motion blur.
Yes. And I love the I got the veritable ND filters that you can turn. And you get all these different stops, like 12 stops of a range, and I love them. I love them.
Yeah, I'll get like a 67 millimeter and use like step up and step down ring, so you know you can use it on anything.
Yeah. Are you still taking the 90D out in the field, or is it the M50 again?
I'm taking the 90D.
Are you still not? So you take it down and then put.
Yeah, I like the image quality of the
N90D. Oh, the 90D is fantastic.
That's why I started taking the 90D, because don't get me wrong, the M50
it's great. Yeah, but the
90D,
the 90D is dope, man.
But for some strange reason, that 90D,
the 90D, quality, man, they killed it on the 90D.
It's just so quality, man.
Yeah,
just quality, you know. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that a lot of people. And I know when we do our videos, we talk about pro mode and we show our, displays and stuff like that. You do see people in the comments, they say like, hey, can you do a full tutorial? Like, like the wine.
I need to do a tutorial on it. Yeah. I've been asked.
And we need to, I think we need to probably do a little more tutorials on it, on stuff like that, because people need to know. I mean, even if you do it on your best phone, like, I mean, if you go into pro mode, like, and I know a lot of people hit the comments say, no, the average consumer doesn't do all that. But maybe the regular people might want to get into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you think about it. I mean, you're buying $1,400 phones and you don't want to explore their horizon. Like you don't want to explore what they can do. You know, if for a tech reviewer to make comments saying that people don't use these features or people don't use that, I think that's wrong. I don't know. I just feel that, you know, if a tech reviewer constantly tell their audience, don't worry about this feature because nobody use it, I think they're giving their audience a disservice.
Sometimes they don't know that it's on their phones, so you got to show them it's on there. Like, oh, let me try that.
That's true.
And it could just be that how they, you know, they could just be the type of people that this is how I use the phone and I'm sharing it with my audience and that's cool. You see what I'm saying? That could be what's going on, right?
That's true. I think and you're right. A lot of reviewers, you know, they don't use the pen, they don't use Dex, they don't use other features like that, so they wouldn't talk about it because they don't use it. And so, but when they come to my channel and they see I got a whole Samsung Dex set up here with multiple monitors, they're like, well, wait a minute,
you can do that with your phone? Yeah.
You know,
they said, "Oh, it's just not use mirror, you know, screen mirroring." No, it's not screen mirroring. It's a whole desktop setup. Yeah. That's what the iPhone folks always say. Oh yeah, you can screen mirror. I was like, no, bro, it's not screen mirroring.
No,
that's a whole different animal.
Yeah, iPhone folks they be like,
oh, we got screen mirror. Nope. No, sir.
And you know what,
sir, it's a whole different thing.
Never put a desktop mode on their phones. They'll never,
because it'll kill their
the iPad and their iPad and their Mac lineup, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't think they need to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think Apple has to do anything until they start to lose market share. They don't have to do anything.
And I think eventually, if Apple doesn't do anything, and eventually if Samsung don't do anything, I think they go lose market share.
Oh yeah, at some point they're going to lose market share. Yeah,
it brings me to my podcast tomorrow, y'all. I talked about this in my podcast, by the way. So make sure y'all stay tuned and check out the podcast tomorrow, because I really do go into Google and I talk about Samsung a little bit. So I got a very interesting podcast for y'all tomorrow. So check it out. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you think about this, right? I think that if Apple didn't want to put Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro on this device. You could tell that they really didn't want to do it. But since they let DaVinci on the platform and DaVinci Resolve is you know, getting praise on how good it is on the iPad, and for Apple fans to blast Apple saying that you let DaVinci Resolve on the iPad, but you didn't put Final Cut Pro on the iPad. We've been begging for it for years and years and years. So it kind of pissed off a lot of people. So I think what Apple did is say, you know what, let's go on and release something to them.
Yeah, I need them to have the full Final Cut on it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't do it though. Yeah. But not only did they didn't put the full Final Cut on there, but they charge you a fee every month. You know,
I don't really mind it if
it was full featured.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't get it because I've got Final Cut paid off and
right,
and I enjoy it. So I need it, and also I need it. I need that. That's the version I need. But I would not be mad at Apple if once everything's up and running the way it should be, and do $5 here and there when I need it out in the field, you know, in a pinch, and then turn it off, go back to my regular setup, you know.
But they didn't put no color grade. I mean,
that's gonna take time. Yeah, that's gonna take time.
I mean,
I'm sure they probably were like, what can we do to get it out now as opposed to waiting 2 or 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, they had a long time of people begging for Final Cut.
Yeah, but they probably just started working on it, you know, because they had no plans to do it.
They probably had no plans to do it.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of these questions. I'm gonna bypass Mills because I got something for Mills when we close out this this damn live stream. The vast majority of iPhone users could care less about Android flagship features like Dex. They are mainly concerned about the text bubble being the right color.
Correct.
Call me a hater, but I'm right. Listen,
I'm not calling him a hater. I think he's totally right. I think it is a communication device that has a lot of exclusivity.
Yes.
People are happy with their iPhones, right?
Yes.
So yeah, this statement is exactly what 99% of iPhone users, they don't care about nothing with Android. They don't give a shit about foldables. They don't care about the pen. They don't give a shit about decks. They don't know nothing. They don't care. Long as they can open up their iPhone, they got that fucked up dynamic island at the top, and it pops down and it tells them they got a text message and shit. That's what they cream over. That's all they want. They don't care about all that stuff.
And that's fine. If that's what you want, I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. If that's what you want, I'm cool with it.
And you know, the crazy thing about it is Apple played the game right. Think about this. People, you know, if you don't have the 3 cameras on the back, you're a peasant. You got the 2, if you got the 2 cameras, you're a peasant. That means you got to have the 3 cameras on the back. It don't matter what the 3rd camera does.
The key was capitalizing on
lifestyle.
Well, not just that, on iMessage. They capitalized it on the very beginning. And when they were, you know, they had a camp that was like, hey, we should open it up back in 2014. They were like, hey, no, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And that's public court record that Apple's like, we will not be able to sell iPhones without iMessage as a lock-in. Yeah. So then once you have this lock-in, and then you get the carriers to say, hey, I'm not saying the carriers said this, but the bottom line is Google's like, we have RCS ready. And the carrier's like, don't worry, we are working on our own version. We're gonna go find these people that are hurting people, and we're gonna make RCS a thing. And they never did anything. Yeah. So iPhone got to keep its lead, and then once you have this lock-in, you go, hey, well, you need to get the 3 camera sensors, or else you got the whole thing. It's a beautiful thing, but we live in a capitalist society, so you can't fault them.
That's right. You know, they look. He got it.
I got it for you. You don't have to worry about it. I took care of it.
Get that shit off the damn screen. He's like,
Don't
I get my other one too, but here.
I got mine right here. It's okay.
Man.
It's all right.
We got our V6s right here.
I like that.
I got 2 of them.
V6s. That's right. Listen, that's right. We got our V6s on deck.
That's right. Always nearby.
Always,
right, man.
Right.
That's
apron string away. It's an apron string away.
Listen, I primarily use an S22. I use the S23 Ultra. I borrow it, but I always have my LG V60 right next to me.
That is.
Well, they had that shit on life support.
The V60 is always with me.
That's right.
Speaking of LG, and I put this in one of our chats. It just goes to show, and everybody listen to me chat, right? LG, to prove that they have no intentions to do mobile, and it really kind of frightened me for what they were doing with the direction of their company, because I would not have let this even come out. But they have developed a briefcase, and the briefcase has a monitor in it. 27-inch monitor, and you take it to picnics. They actually show people at a picnic, and they open up the briefcase and like, hey, we can touch on the screen and we can listen to music, sit back and watch it. Wow. We can do that. Like, who approved this nonsense?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Like, what the fuck is that?
like, come on now. I'm like, come on. You got people asking for you to bring back the mobile division, and this is the stuff that y'all up to now?
I know.
Come on now.
Look, I think, you know, if you look at what LG does, you know, they sell displays and stuff like that to third-party companies. They make their money like that. But, you know, a lot of the fan base do want
Thank you, Carnizzle. Who, you know, and I'm hoping that there's enough a niche, because it like literally I would be like, why? And the thing about it is hey, so you say this is why they failed? They couldn't market the LG phone. And right. I always talk about the top reviewers, how they got the LG V60, and you have 2 people on the panel that are talking about it like the phone just came out, right? And when LG V60 was released, it was trashed. Yeah. And they couldn't figure out who not to give the product to. Like, you do not send the phone to these people. Let them buy if they're going to trash it, let them buy their own, right? Because you know they're going to trash it.
Yeah.
But yet you're putting marketing around a briefcase with a compute a display in there, a 27-inch display.
Yeah, that's.
I
Look,
mean,
man,
here's the thing, like with touchscreen monitors and all this stuff that's out right now, they couldn't just say, "Hey, man, instead of buying our stuff, just if you got a briefcase around, just put a monitor you got laying."
What the
Like,
hell?
what is going on?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. One of the you have the different divisions of LG, right? You got the TVs and the appliances and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
know it's not the like. I'm
They
just saying this.
are
This is
smart
proving
people.
that the mobile
Right.
division is gone. I'm like, what is happening?
That's
Well,
the
they better
smart
put
people,
a,
right?
Oh yeah, they got smart people. I'm just like,
But in
who
the mobile
approved this?
division, the mobile division is
Like,
messed up.
and like I hope I'm wrong, but who was like, man, I've you know, one of the things I'm trying to solve at my picnics is I need a monitor in a rugged case.
That's
And I can get one of those Skate or Gator cases, you know what I'm saying? But that's too big. Maybe if I get a rugged briefcase, like, are we serious right now?
Yeah.
well, maybe they put
Yes,
the,
Michael, you take that to the airport, and it's like, get the FBI on the line.
they got that ultrafine display in that briefcase.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that would have been. Thank you, Ron. That would have been cool in 1983.
Look, I think that LG cared about the mobile division, but they had to cut their losses. I mean, they was losing billions of dollars a year in the mobile, right?
God awful
So,
marketing.
They was losing too much money in the mobile division to keep it afloat. Now, a person that's outside looking in, the first thing we say is get rid of the people that's doing your marketing and
Exactly.
get some
Oof.
people in there that's very, very serious about marketing their product. It wasn't because the LG phones was bad. It just was they didn't market right. You know, the marketing was just totally bad. So those are people feet to the fire that LG should have held, not the people that were developing the phones, because the phones was great cameras, quad DACs, long battery life, beautiful displays. I mean, you had the product, the hardware, and the product itself was great.
None of that was ever advertised.
It was never ever. Think
No,
about this.
I agree.
You think about this. When the LG V60, the LG Velvet, and the LG Wing came out, right, in 2020, the keynote addresses came out. They talked about it, but they didn't talk about the pen support. They don't talk about pro mode. They didn't talk about desktop mode. They didn't talk about all these upper echelon features that at the time Samsung was still rolling with the Note 10, right? I mean, they could have went toe to toe with the Note 10. They could have talked about, because the Samsung had DeX, LG had their desktop mode. The Samsung had the S Pen. LG had almost similar to software. The software is similar to DeX. I mean, to the S Pen software. I mean, you have the camera system on the Note 20, the S20. I mean, the S10, Note 10. Well, guess what? The V60 they had pro mode and stuff like that. They had very good cameras. But
they were the first to come with the triple camera system, and they never even advertised the damn thing.
But that's the thing that was different about LG, and that's why like I was proud of Xiaomi. Like if you go to a Xiaomi event, like if you go to any of their YouTube events, what it literally comes down to, if you listen to most of the chat is their phones break. Not Samsung. Their phones break. Not Samsung. Copying Apple. That's all they, instead of listening to what they're saying on stage. And what they're saying is like, we have partnered with Leica. Leica is responsible for XYZ. We developed this. We did a joint project with Sony to develop this sensor. We're also using this sensor. You can get much lower noise and depth of field on every camera on the actual. So that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So then it gets out there and it gets a little bit of buzz and it gets traction. And LG did the opposite.
Yeah.
They did the
LG
absolute
did a
opposite.
lot of innovation. They even
No,
had
I didn't
even
say
on
they
the
didn't.
V20.
I didn't say no. I didn't say. I'm talking about as far as marketing.
Yeah. They never advertised anything.
V20, they had the secondary display. Remember?
They on the V20 they had like a prototype version of Dynamic Island.
Yes.
Yeah. They had a similar thing to Dynamic Island on the V20 that you never knew about.
Didn't the LG Flex was the one that had a scratch resistant back where you scratched it, it healed itself?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the Flex, right? They had what device that was?
Yeah, that was the Flex. That was the
LG Flex when you scratched the back and healed itself.
It looked like a banana phone. Yeah, it was the LG Flex.
Okay, yeah, the LG
I think
Flex.
It was a red phone.
There was a curved display on there, right?
Yeah, it was a curve. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, they brought a lot of first time stuff to the market, crazy innovations, and they never bothered to tell you about it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Marketing department for years that failed LG.
Oh no, Michael, I totally understand that. I totally get that we overstate YouTube. What I'm saying is this: in the off chance that people will venture to YouTube, they want to find more. It's sort of like right now I'm replacing my gas yard equipment with electric. Since I have to know everything about a product, I will then not just go by what I see in concerts. I'll go to see someone that's testing 20 of them on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens is what I'm saying is you may have happened to see some of the marketing. You might have gotten the person at the carrier store that is like pro LG, but then you go, oh, well, let me do some extra search. And you have nothing but these million sub people that are just killing the phone.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the total downfall with a lot of, tech reviewers out there that was killing LG at the scene, along with HTC, that was killing them at the scene, and LG didn't have no comeback. And that was they just let the top tech reviewers just absolutely murk them, and they didn't make a comeback. Now look, LG made some mistakes too. Now, I mean, look at what they did with the LG G5 with the modular system. I mean, that was a total failure device, right? With that the 5 with the mods, and they never came out with the mods and stuff like that. I mean, so LG did make some mistakes along the way.
They had that infamous boot loop that scared the hell of a lot of people away for a long time.
Oh man, that people still talk about the LG G4 boot loop. Like that's like 9 years ago or something. They still talk about it to this day, right?
Yeah.
And that was another one that was part of their failures, right? I mean, but let's talk about Samsung failures, right? Samsung had a phone that was blowing up on people. They had a phone that cost $2,000. That display this fucked up, right? So I mean, Samsung had to recall the Note 7 twice.
Yes.
And I mean, so they had but everybody dismissed that, right? And look, Apple had Antenna-Gate. They tell you hold the phone wrong. They was giving people bumpers and shit, right? I mean, you had yeah. I mean, they say you holding the phone wrong. So every company had their bump in the road, but the difference is Samsung shell out a lot of cash for positive reinforcements, right? Apple started spending a lot of money on positive reinforcements. LG just let it ride, and that was the wrong thing to do. Instead of them coming out and telling people how great their company is, and we go fix this problem. If you got an LG G4 with a boot loop issue, we go replace it right on the spot. Those type of things. Instead of every tech reviewer in the world was slamming the phones from pillar to post for years, and stuff like that. So I mean, and that happened to HTC, but at least HTC didn't go away, right? They making a comeback, so that's good.
That's not trash. That's not really a comeback, because remember HTC the mold department is gone. That's just someone bought the HTC.
Oh,
name.
okay.
But you make a lot of good points, but I think companies just have to understand. Sometimes you have to understand who your opponent is.
Yeah.
Right. So like I had hit up BG Tech Life like a minute or two after he had posted something, and it was a article that said the S23 Ultra is the top selling phone of this year, something like that, right? And I responded and I go, man, that's very that's very strange that the person in the article didn't point out over $500. They literally quoted the person that put all that information out, where he says over $500, but then they're saying that's misleading, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like when you have that big name, things like this can happen over and over, and luck goes in your favor, right? Whereas if you're someone that's trying to make a name for yourself, like a Carl Pay, you have to make sure that you come correct. And like I said, I thought it was a brilliant move for him, especially with all the bugs that he had, to not release that phone until it was ready over in the United States. And he really didn't fully release it. He did it as, hey, let's do a beta, because he knew he was going to get destroyed.
He gonna get destroyed. Absolutely. And you know what? You know, these are the smart minds of company CEOs that understand the difference between international, overseas versus the United States.
Yeah.
United States is brutal. So overseas, you could get you could do a lot of things because you have a lot of, competition. You have a lot of things to choose from overseas, from your Vivos, your Realmes, your Oppos, your Xiaomis, and the Huawei's. You got a lot of that overseas. In the United States, it's a hard battle because you got to try to change the minds of the consumer, to try to get them away from a brand that they've been plastered all on YouTube, plastered on TV, the NBA and all, well, Google got that, but
but I know you're saying.
Yeah, when you get plastered on,
we here at Google got that shit on lock.
Yeah, but when you see that, and if you walk into a carrier store and all the salespeople sell your iPhone or sell your Galaxy, it's very difficult for a company to come in and try to change the narrative. That's what Carl knew that. That's why he came with a beta to try to test the waters. Now he coming out with the Nothing 2 that's going global with it. So he tested the waters. He know that the United States may be just a little smaller, but let's go on and crawl our way into the United States a little bit. But with this phone, I mean, OnePlus did it, right? I mean, they came in the United States, they hit the carriers, which was a good thing. Because listen, believe it or not, the carriers is the most important part to sell your phone. If you're not on a carrier, it's very difficult, because when you're trying to sell a phone above $500 or above almost close to $1,000 in our time and age, that's a hard sell. People don't shell out thousands of dollars up front. They don't mind paying $20 a month, but when you're saying $1,000, that's a hard sell for 90% of people. But if you could get it on the carrier, it makes it simple. It makes it easy. You can walk into a carrier store, no money down, walk out with the device. You pay $40 a month. You're good. Samsung know this. That's why all the Galaxy Folds is on the networks, because they know nobody gonna pay $2,000 up front for a Galaxy Fold, but you'll pay $40 a month for it. So that's why the carriers is the most important thing in the United States. Now, can you get newer devices in people's hands? Of course you can. Work with the carriers, do some, add a line and get a free OnePlus. I promise you, at free, the word free, or no down payment, or $10 a month, or get $300 off if you get this OnePlus or this Galaxy. I'm telling you, that works. People love cheap.
It's just the bottom line. Whoever does it is going to have to do. They're going to have to be strategic about it. They're going to have Google type of money, where Google says, I want to boot out Samsung, or they're going to just have to be strategic and say, hey, over time, as we grow capital, because Samsung and Apple own the carriers.
Yes.
So even though you're in a carrier, it might be easier for people to buy it, but the people that are like, hey, if you don't want to buy this iPhone, we have the Samsung available.
Right. And so when we talk about the strategy, and listen, I'm giving away my some of my talking points in my podcast tomorrow, but I'm gonna say this: AT&T has 290 million users in the United States. T-Mobile has 110 million people that's on the network in the United States. I'm talking about United States numbers. Verizon Wireless is 142 million. A total of 542 million potential people that can buy your product.
Correct.
That's a lot of people. So in the United States, the strategy is when you look at a number of 500 and almost 50 million people, potential people that can buy your product, then the strategy is I need to work with the carriers. Because the carriers is the one that can get the product in people's hand. Because
Correct.
they have
but it goes beyond just work with the carriers, like working with the carriers, like getting on the carrier, but then also making sure that you are influential at getting the corporate policy to push other phones besides Apple and Samsung.
Yes. That means you got to get what the local stores, the salespeople. That's right.
All the way up to the CEO. Everybody has to be on the same page. Like, hey, I need an incentive of why I'm basically giving my phone away to you that you're not going to sell.
Well, you think about it like this. Most of the carriers, when the iPhone season come out and stuff like that, the carriers got incentive. You sell 10 iPhones, you get a bonus.
Exactly.
Those are the incentives that carriers do.
That's the challenge of Google. Google, do you want to go that route, or do you want the other companies like Nothing and all them to build up enough capital where they can say, hey, how can we get incentive? Like, how can we subsidize this incentive so you can actually say, hey, this is the Nothing Phone 5 versus the iPhone 18 or something like that. I think you should go with the Nothing phone. Right. Because that's not what's going to happen when they go into a carrier.
Exactly. And I think, the carrier salespeople is the one that ultimately, sell the phone. Because at the end of the day, in the United States, it's totally different from overseas, right? In the United States, you got almost 500 million people on these carriers. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people don't like to pay up front. They like to pay over time. So financing, and listen, Samsung got financing, that's fine. But here's the problem. A lot of credit scores don't be that great for them to get financed. So that's why the carriers come in because they ain't doing no credit check. Because if you already on the carrier and you already financing a phone here or there, getting another phone finance is easy on the carrier with hauling bad credit scores versus going with a Google Fi or Samsung, and they got to run your credit. And y'all, a lot of people that got 200 credit scores that ain't gonna get no financing. They go to the carrier.
Damn. 200? Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Well, 200 credit scores, and you're not gonna get financed through Google Fi or through what Samsung use? They use their finance company.
Yeah. But also like Michael Corcoran brought it up. People we can also tell people that are aware, because I know YouTubers that do this. There's PayPal, they do pay in 4, they have interest free. There's a lot of different things like you can get credit.
I do that a lot.
So
I do it a lot.
And that way you can still get it without going to the carrier and getting the phone that you want.
Affirmed. Right, affirmed. And you can't get
I have a firm
if you got a 200 credit score. So but if you're on the carrier, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and this say the Pixel Fold that is coming to all the carriers, they have an opportunity to get that in people's hands.
I use that too, Mims.
Michael, it's hard for me to recommend going directly with the carrier unless you're a family, and you can get a lot of lines or business. But I usually recommend people going directly to the prepaid.
Yeah.
And then just buying your phone through other methods.
Yeah, but again, the like I say, I bring that number up because I did my research for my podcast tomorrow, and one of the things I talked about in the podcast is and I strictly talk about the United States, because in the United States it's dominated by Apple and Samsung. Correct. But I love what Google is doing here, and I talked about it in my podcast.
I think a lot of people do. It's still going to be an uphill battle for.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a start. That's fine. That's a start. Because here's the thing: first generation device. Don't get me wrong. You got the Pixel 7s and stuff on the carriers. That's fine. But now you coming in the premium, the ultra premium market. I'm gonna tell you. I went out and asked some people, some friends and family. if they see my Galaxy Fold, fine, great. I say, Google coming out with a foldable. What's the cost? I mean, I always ask the price. Everybody always with the price after tax. You talk about close to $1,900. Hell no. No.
That should be the answer for any foldable
Everything,
phone.
right? No.
Yeah, so it shouldn't just be Pixel.
But
everybody should say hell no.
But if they had an opportunity to get introduced to Pixel Fold on Verizon for $40 a month with no down payment, I think a lot of people will take that opportunity to gravitate to a Pixel Fold. And I think that's where the carriers and Google need to work together because you have potential here, 550 million in the United States. That means that you got potential to get people. And this is where I believe that Samsung is sitting back on their laurels, thinking that Google not going to infiltrate them. But this is full infiltration, because if Google do it right, obviously Google, trying to do something right. And I think that's when you listen to the keynote address. And this is what I thought about when I watched the keynote address. They talked about the Pixel Fold. They talked about Apple with RCS. They talked about a lot of things. You know why? Because they're trying to infiltrate the United States hard. And I'm proud of them for that. I want them to do that. They don't give a fuck what people talk about. Well, Google this. No. We need this third player in here really bad. The reason why we need this third player is because it takes Samsung and say, hey, get off your ass and start innovating, right? Because now you got people leaving because, they have another alternative. Now you think about this. Samsung is on their 5th generation. So if Samsung feel that in the United States, they're comfortable. They already know their user base. This is why, think about this. Why you think they have a Dollar General and a Dollar Tree down there on the same block? They're trying to infiltrate each other, right? They're trying to take each other users. And so I look at that the same way in the United States. Google have an opportunity. And the name itself, everybody know the word Google. And I think that's the point. The word Google, just like everybody know Galaxy. Everybody know Google. And Google need to get that word out, and they need to work hard and campaign, pay off whoever you need to pay off, bring the briefcase, market the fuck out of like they do with the NBA, get with the NFL, and stuff like that. Google need to probably come out with a nice, pretty pink color device for the females, right? I mean, Samsung did that, right? Remember they came out with the that gold Galaxy S7 Edge? Yeah, I mean, come on now. I mean, I had it, but I mean, I could. Samsung came out with the powder blue and that's the Pixel 7a come out. Samsung came out with a powder blue phone and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not a man dominated ecosystem. You got to get the females involved, right? I mean, they buy phones too. Shit. I mean, granted that they might buy more iPhones because they like the green bubble and blue bubble shit, right? But I mean, Samsung is making some female-based colors and stuff like that to try to attract them, and I think that's what they need to do. Google. But they got that what is that orange Pixel 7a?
The coral.
The coral. And that burnt orange.
Yeah, I mean that coral. I mean that's not a man color. I know a lot of guys,
but I like it. It kind of reminds me of the Huarache, the Nike Huarache.
Yeah.
That color.
Yeah, I still like, and it's just probably me, but I still think foldables are a niche of a niche, and the way the companies are using them, they know they're not going to sell a lot of those phones, whether it's Samsung, whether it's Pixel, whether it's the ones overseas, right? But one thing that it does is it's really great for advertisement, right? Because when you advertise, that you have this, that goes in the ad. So it's a nice NBA ad, right? Then people are, well, I can't afford $1,800 for the Pixel Fold and the Pixel or the Samsung, but I did like this one feature. Wonder if this phone has it. So I go to the cheaper route, right? I just don't see Samsung tomorrow. 10% of the devices they sell are folds, right? That's not going to happen, right?
Right.
And that's not to put Samsung down, but it starts with you get the first few models out there, and then over time, slowly, the price gets to where people don't feel it, you know, whether you reduce the price or they see value, that you get more converters.
But I think Samsung is going, well, they've made comments about this a couple of years ago. Samsung focus is all on foldables. Now, they granted that the S lineup is their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But
no, I think that's a good strategy. But I don't see in their future that the only foldable will be $1,200 and up.
Right.
When I include the flip, right? I think there's going to be lower price points over time.
Yes. And I think what Samsung did was when they came out with the first Z Flip, that thing was $1,400, right? We came out, and then when it came out, the 5G was $1,400. Then when they came out with the 3, I believe, or the 2 or the 3, it went to $999.
Golan, every US brand needs fast charging. This is like I said, there's no passes this year. I said it last year. I gave them all 3 a pass. Fast charging, or I should say, let me rephrase that. Garbage charging that they're providing right now is ridiculous. All 3 of the US brands.
What is it, like 45 watt charging?
But it's not a true 45 watt.
Not on
they say it's 45 watt on like the S23 Ultra, but it's not. It like peaks like around 20. Well, it might peak at 45, but it's mainly sustained 23 watts.
So and they label it fast charge. They label fast charge.
And the fuckery that Samsung did with the S23. Not only was it one of the worst unboxings compared to the S22, but they put a low-powered USB-C in the box. That means if you bought a high-powered charger, the USB-C charging cord that's in the box would not work. That's how Samsung fuck people.
Yeah, like I said, the bottom line is we should vote with our wallet. If you want things to change, vote with your wallet. As a consumer, it is okay to like and be fans of brands and think they have the best thing and be able to call them out at the same time. Yeah. Because the bottom line is with my Pixel, whether it's my S21, that's my work, it's one of my work phones. I literally have to plan around charging those. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Whereas I just take all my other foreigns and like, oh, here's 90 watt, here's 100 watt, like just you know, how many watts do I got, you know what I'm saying? And it's like in 2 seconds it's I'm ready to go.
Yep. I totally agree with you, and I think that for the most part, this is why we talk about this stuff on these live streams. This is one of the reasons why we really talk about this stuff. It's because we want people.
Oh yeah, I like to give you an example. I would be dishonest and disingenuous if I didn't go back and forth and hold every company to standards, and I would be disingenuous to like a heroic vision. Like I know he talks about the LG V60, but if he was next to me, I would literally take that LG V60, put on the curb, stomp it, and go, here's a Xiaomi, here's a Xiaomi 13 Ultra, here's some money for you.
And I'll pull out my backup V60.
Film your, I curve stomp them both. Film your videos with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. It's funny because I see Ben, and I try not to, because I don't want people to only think I'm retweeting what he's doing or always responding to what he's saying. But I see the same people that will say there's no difference between a 1-inch sensor and a small sensor on a phone, or what Sony is doing with some of the smaller sensors to bring in more light, right? Like some of the tricks that they're doing. Yeah. And those are the same ones who are like, no, I gotta have full frame. I can't film my YouTube videos without a full frame camera. How would I get a Sony ZV-1? I can't do it.
That's crazy.
So you can see the importance of sensor size when it comes to depth of field, when it comes to the amount of light that you can bring into the sensor. You can see all that stuff, but you can't see it in phones. There's a reason why these phones are turning people's heads. Because they literally have the hardware to do so.
That's a problem. YouTube is not going to hold these companies accountable.
Oh yeah, they want
to
and
we've been going through it for years.
You're gonna go through that, and that's why it's important to have discussions. Like there's a lot of people in this chat that are very technical, and we try to bring it out. Like me and Mims have been going back and forth. Well, let me rephrase that. Mims is probably not appreciating that I'm going back and forth with him because he's trying not to buy anything. But Fuji, this goes to the YouTubers. Fuji just released a camera. It's like $1,300, right? And I saw the review, and what I'm hearing is YouTubers like, "Man, this makes a great B cam. Man, this makes a great mid-range camera." And I'm like, "Wait a second. Wow. It does 6K, open gate, which allows you to immediately crop it for regular 16:9 video or reels and shorts with no loss in quality. You know." It has 10-bit video. So it like literally, and the autofocus is one of the best autofocus out there outside of Sony's latest, right? So they have all this stuff. It's like it's basically almost the equivalent of their $2,200 model that came out last year. And you got YouTubers who are like, "Yeah, this will make a great B cam." It's like, dude, I can see, first of all, I can see the specs and I can see the samples that you're shooting. I'm not a moron. I can see that is killing everything that you got on your channel. How is this going to make a great B cam when I see A cam written all over it?
Exactly. That's your main camera right there.
It's like, come on, man.
It's one of those things, bro.
Yeah, man. And 4K 60 DMIMs. 4K, it's like I'm like this is a thing. Like I'm like, so that's why it's important that we have these discussions. We challenge the narrative because the bottom line is Xiaomi and Oppo take risk to do some of these things. Oppo took a risk. Like they're getting rid of their Marsilicon chip team. They took a risk. They're hoping that they would sell more, right? So they sold pretty well, but they're hoping they would sell more. But we get them to take risks and to do better things for us as consumers if we tell the truth and hold them accountable.
So here we got the fact that you could pull something like no charger in the box.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Goes to show you how easily the U.S. market can be
absolutely. You see that on the news all the time. At the beginning of the pandemic, when you saw people going into private property talking about they know their rights, apparently you don't. Apparently you need to read what your rights are, sir, on or ma'am at private property. That's how America is. And the thing is, we can either sit and whine about it, or we can have these discussions because we can push the narrative. We control the narrative.
But Barry, you know what happened when they stopped putting charges in the box? Content creators accepted it. They like move on.
I agree. I agree.
Move on.
I totally agree.
And for me, I always slam them for it. I always talk about it and I always bring it up because I believe that if everybody buying together, if everybody keep talking about it, eventually they'll bring it. Remember when OnePlus took the alert slide away? What happened? They got ultimately slammed with every publication online, everything.
Yeah, but that's OnePlus though. That's OnePlus though. No. So here's the thing. That's OnePlus though. If that had been Samsung or Apple, it would have been, man, that was actually a good move that they did that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They would have gave him a pass, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know the narrative that I hear all the time when people hit me in the comments say, "Oh, easy, you got so many phones, you got chargers everywhere." It's not the fucking point that I got all the phones. It's not the fucking point that I got chargers. If I buy a brand new pair of Jordans, I want the shoestrings. The fuck? You gonna get? I'm gonna buy tennis, and you ain't gonna give me no fucking shoestrings? Oh, guess what? If I go buy this steak dinner at a prominent restaurant, I got to bring my own fucking knife and fork. I got to bring my own fucking knife and fork to pay these motherfuckers, $200 for this steak, but I got to bring my own knife and fork. I got to buy tennis with no shoestrings. That's how I feel about these charges not in the box. And a lot of people tell me to get over. Listen, I will never get over it. You know why? I got $200 phones give you glass screen protectors, fast 66-watt charger in the box, fast this, fast that. They give you every fucking thing in the box for $200, and these bitches charge you $2,000 for a phone, and they tell you, fuck off, I ain't give you nothing.
Yeah, so I have to say, outside of the like Pixel phones, you know, I don't notice it most of the time because all my phones come with chargers.
Hey,
All of them come with chargers.
all of them.
It's for the environment. Man, get me a fucking break.
This is a
For the
Vivo
environment.
90 water, 90 water,
90 water.
90 water. That's all it is.
Hey, Island Boy, right though. Island Boy. Yeah, they saving the earth.
You ain't saving no goddamn earth. They say they lining their pockets. That's what it is, because they charge you $40-$50 for a charger.
Hey,
So there ain't no
congratulations.
fucking way you gonna sit up there and say they're saving their Okay, so the Apple and them took the chargers out the box for a couple of years. Have the environment changed? We still got hurricanes and fucking tornadoes everywhere. We still got El Nino all over the place. So
Yes,
what
dude.
would have changed? Somebody explain to me in the last 3 or 4 years when they took the fucking chargers out of the box, what in the environment have changed? Matter of fact, shit have got worse. So you can't tell me that they're saving the environment and all that bullshit. No, they
You still gotta go out and buy the shit.
Yeah, you still have to buy it.
Go out and buy this
You still
shit.
gotta go out and buy
Yeah.
it.
And that's
Think about
like I said, that's the reason why we have those discussions. It could be like us having these discussions and people in the chat, everybody's like feeling we're on the same page. Then when you start to talk to people in your family, your coworkers and stuff like that, like Super Robot Ed just talked about, he bought a Pixel 7 and he's thinking about getting a Pixel 7, you know, Pro, right? There's people I work with or customers of mine, you know, that have gotten Pixels or OnePlus devices that normally buy Samsung, right? And that's just by having conversations.
I'm not blaming Apple for global warming. They took the charge out the box.
Thank you,
4
Dexter.
years ago.
Thank you, Dexter. But they don't want to hear that, Dexter. They don't want to have that conversation. Because it's capital. They want to print money.
They need that money.
They don't care how many billions of
They want
dollars.
that money. Let me tell you, they want that money. Yo,
They got rid of the headphone jack and they're making billions on their earbuds, right?
That was
Exactly.
all, yep.
And then the Samsung was right behind them.
Eric said El Nino.
And lean.
I say El Nino, motherfucker.
Shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, I get you, Doodle. I know you do.
Let's see.
Doodle's correcting. He's like, hey, you can still check that box, is what he's saying.
Yeah, the user will still buy that thin box. Yeah, that shit thin. Ain't got nothing in it. It's thin as a bro. Let me tell you something. The when you buy a phone, when the shit come in the mail, man, this shit is ridiculous. When I got the S23 Ultra, the box was so thin, you already knew there ain't nothing in this motherfucker. And I mean, you gotta be kidding me at this point, right? I mean, I don't know, man. It's ultimately frustrating. Then here we got the Z Fold 5 go come out. And you know what Samsung did this year with the S23? They didn't even put a screen protector on the phone. They didn't even put a fucking screen protector on the phone. They put a piece of paper on the phone to say, there you go, motherfuckers.
Well, I guess
There you go.
they see people peeling them right off in their videos and shit, so they like.
Yeah, but I mean, it is to protect the save. You know, it is a protection until you get a quality screen protector or something like that.
I agree.
But you know what? You know, Samsung give you the option. You can buy the motherfuckers online. You know, most people buy a screen, but it's fine. But at least put the fucking thing on the device. Give me a fucking break.
And what company was that removed the cable out the box? All you get is a phone.
Sony.
Oh, that was Sony.
Don't have a cable. The One Mark 5 don't have the cable or the fucking charger.
You just the phone.
I mean, you can give me a fucking break here, man. I mean, goddamn. I mean, you know, for $1,500.
Yeah, man.
You lucky to get the box now.
For $1,500, they don't even put the fucking charger in the box. The cord ain't even in the fucking box. I mean, you know that's next, right? The cord ain't coming in the box on these up and come phones. They gonna say, you know, y'all don't need the charger. Y'all got it already. They gonna tell you, you don't need a charger. You got it already. It's fucked up, man. Like they don't mind charge you $50 for the charger, but they don't want to put it in the box because they're trying to save the environment. You know,
Barry, what company was that gave you the option of if you wanted to I think it was
Samsung did.
Samsung did, yeah.
They
Samsung give you
checkbox.
credits, like if you want to get charges and shit like that. I mean, you can get credits, you know. It shouldn't even be a question of credit. Just put the motherfuckers in the box, man. You know, I just, Apple excuses all these charges end up in landfills. Okay, well, let them end up in landfills. I mean, that's what they're for, right?
Some of them already gone, ain't it, Big House?
I'm gonna answer Grizzy Oz.
What up, Hawks? What up, Hawks?
Grizzy Oz. I don't. See,
I was gonna ask.
Where you put it? Is that
he's up a little high. Yeah. Thoughts on the Xiaomi 13?
Let me go back up. All right, here we go.
Yeah. So for me personally, I would choose the 13 Ultra over all those. So I think where the Pixel is really strong on the rear cameras. If you want, just take the phone out of the pocket, HDR, it's great. I think it does an outstanding job with that stuff. With the issue with the Pixel 7, and Gerald Undone actually has a really good video on the Pixel 7. The issue that on the Pixel 7, like when you look at the selfie camera, if you're using that, there's softness. It's almost like your face is not quite in focus. There's like a softness, and what they do is the background is sharp. I mean, it just looks fire. But you have a little softness to your face when you're doing selfie video. Where its claim to fame is if you have any human in the photos, normally if you just take photos, they're going to do a great job. I'm talking about non-portrait mode. The S23 Ultra, I think, has some issues with oversaturation like normal, right? But there are times where the color is a little off on that. The 14 Pro Max is solid. It will be better this year when the new sensor comes out. But the bottom line is with the 13 Ultra, what you're getting is you're getting massive depth of field, a much cleaner image. So if you do any punching in, and also the Leica tuning is usually going to be to most people's liking over those three. So, and that's not to put them down, but if you like HDR, boom. 7 Pro, get it. You know, they'll look very clean, all that stuff. But if you want to have that feel like you're a street photographer, go with the Xiaomi 13 Ultra all day.
I think when Huawei was in the United States, they wasn't even on the carry. They was at Best Buy.
They weren't on the carry. Yeah, they were just killing people.
Yeah,
like I knew a lot of people that had Huawei's and were like, "Damn, man, look at my phone. It can do way more than all these little crappy phones over here."
Huawei wasn't never on it. Listen, when you bring up AT&T is, and I think one of the reasons why AT&T the way they are is because they have 290 million people in the United States on their network. They're the largest one, right? So they do things differently. AT&T wouldn't have let Huawei. They don't let nobody on the network.
Yeah, I think it's I don't see Huawei ever making a comeback because the bottom line, unless they have changes they don't really care about.
They don't care about
Samsung, Samsung, and this is the reason why I say we have to have these discussions. We know Samsung can put better sensors on their phone. We know that. Doodle knows that they could put the best sensors possible. They know, even if they say, oh, well, it's a size thing, they know Sony has sensors right now that they could put on that would still be competitive, right? But they're not going to do that, right?
Not going to do it.
So the bottom line is we have to keep having these kind of discussions, because if we don't, we're going to let them have, these openings. Whereas Huawei is like, forget the opening. We are going to put the best freaking phone against Apple. We're not going to, if you're Apple's so-called number one competitor, we're going to put the best phone out here. We're not going to just have, we're a Swiss Army knife. This is like the best productivity phone. It'll be like, we have the best productivity phone and our cameras mop the floor with everybody. That's what Huawei would have done. And I'm pretty sure the US saw that and were like, well, guess what? We got to, we can't mess with this. Get these people out of here.
What happened was, but Huawei was going to AT&T. I kind of remember this story.
Yeah.
But they was highly had highly issues with the U.S. government at the time. We go all the way back to Barack Obama. We way back with the early terms of Barack Obama. We talking, damn, Barack Obama was in for 8 years. We talk about like the beginning of Barack Obama terms, right? That they had problems with Huawei. The United States caught Huawei doing some shady shit, so they investigated them, and it's been going on for a decade now, right? And they finally, I think Joe Biden finally put the ban on them, right? Didn't Joe Biden put the ban on them?
I thought it was
maybe
Trump
about a year or two ago.
I thought Trump.
Yeah,
Trump
I
did
thought it
that.
was Trump.
Trump stopped
Maybe
it.
Trump did it. Maybe Trump
stopped it. Yeah.
And so once they did that, man, that was it. And listen, Huawei probably, they do very well overseas. And I mean, I know they got, they can't put Snapdragon chips in it. There's all kinds of shit that's going on with Huawei. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to stop them from making phones. That's, they still going to make quality product. They're going to make absolutely marvelous product. I mean, they won't be able to put no 5G modems in there, nothing like that for the United States. It won't be a global ROMs or nothing for the, I just feel bad that their product was good. It's just the government and them just couldn't get along and find out what was going on between both of them. So, that's, but I mean, Samsung is a consumer grade phone. They want to try to please. They want to have a level playing field. They're not going after the content creators. They're not going after. They're just trying to please everybody. So if you are a business user, yes, we got Dex, we got the S Pen. That's for business users. If you like cameras, yeah, we got mid-grade cameras for camera enthusiasts with pro mode and stuff like that. So. And then if you want a great phone, we got the beautiful display, 120 hertz. We got the fast processor. If you're a gamer, we got stuff for that. We got, the fast processor, the 12 gigs of RAM. So what Samsung does is it gives a consumer grade phone that can appeal to every genre, right? That's what they do. They're not going to be the best at the cameras. They're not going to be best at this. They're not going to be the best at that. But they overall is a standard device that gives you the best of both worlds. Now, and I say that because when you look at a Sony device, Sony is not about the phone aspect of their phone. They all about the camera aspect of a pro camera users. That they only gonna give you 2 years of software updates. They're not gonna give you no security patch. They don't worry about that part of their business. They worried about the upper echelon pro user, videographer, photo person that want their phone. That's what they focus on. So when you look at a Sony phone versus a Galaxy phone, Galaxy is a prosumer device. Sony phones is more of a pro device, period.
So Samsung is like
a story, Will.
So the Samsung is like jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah.
Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of
none. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's what they want to do. They want to please because they don't want to sell a phone just for camera enthusiasts. They'll make no money. They don't want to.
Actually, they're profitable. I don't think like people take it the wrong way when I said I don't think they care. I think what it is they're selling it to their niche and they're making profit, right? And over time they'll expand that niche further out, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Alpha division in Sony, they top
Alpha is killing it right now. Like there's so many cameras that I'm like, why do they have this camera? Why do they have this camera? Why do they have this camera? And they're looking at me like, we the top dogs right now. Why are you tripping?
So why not integrate their phones?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. That's what I think. That's what Sony is doing right now. They're looking at the success of the Alpha division, and that's why they phones working with the Alpha division give you shit like HDMI out, recording 4K on your phone like a Ninja V. But those type of, I mean, Samsung ain't doing this. They ain't gonna never. Apple ain't never doing nothing like that. But Sony said, you know what? Hold my beer. If you're a professional or you try to go into the profession, here's these options for you that you could do as a videographer. Or
now that's another brand
like
you can look at, Heroic. You can look at that Sony 1 Mark V.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the way it is. I mean, I think, you know, when we look at it, I think that's what Sony success is in the cameras. Obviously, you know, their TV, their Bravias and all that, they do very, very fucking good too. But I'm just saying, as far as the cameras and the alpha department, I think the integration is perfect, man. That's why they got the Sony Eye and all that, man. That's all. I mean, that's all upper echelon, you know, football games. You got the Sony Eye on there, you streaming and all that stuff like that. And that's what it's for, man. They going into the high end professional. That's why, you know, I just think that when I use my Sony phone, beautiful display, very fast as far as the performance on it, playing, you know, integrated with the PS4 is great. You can play your games, your PS4 games and stuff like that. I got the Sony 1 Mark II, no overheating issues. It's cool as a fan. It works great. The cameras are phenomenal on it, right?
Professional grade cameras too.
Professional grade cameras on it. And I got the 2, and I'm saying it's professional grade camera. I mean, the 5 is out now, but I'm looking at, I got the 2. Yeah. The 2 is fucking, look, I put the 2 total. But see, it's a difference in color on Sony phones versus the oversaturation, color popping and stuff like that. You get vintage looks out of Sony phones with the Lux and stuff like that. That's movie grade type stuff. We're not talking about no fucking oversaturation with the greens. It's so damn green they look like plastic. The sky so fucking blue that it looked like a fucking bubble. I mean, no, we talk about vintage look, you know. If you watch John Wick, and I watched the behind the scenes of John Wick, you know, when they did the camera, the Lux and all that, they went with that look, right? The Matrix, you know, went with that green look. Everything
teal and
orange. That teal and orange. That was all color grade, teal and orange. That whole movie was all one color. Well, 2 colors, right? Yep. So that's the type of look that the Sony device give you. When I shot with that Sony device, it gives you that vintage look, that beautiful color. You know, they got built-in Lux on the Sony phones also that gives you that good vintage look and whatever kind of look you're looking for, which is great. So I mean, we talk about Apple, which is next week, y'all. We got the WWDC dub.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I think everybody's excited to see, y'all.
Dub.
See what that M3 and those Mac Minis do. Chicken Mac Mini.
Yeah, they go there. The Mac Minis and M3s and new OSs and I'm excited to see iPad OS. I want to see what they go do with this iPad because I want to get I haven't got an M1. I didn't get the M2. But I might want to get the M3. It all depends on iPad OS.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. They're not going to do anything with iPad OS. So if they do it, I'll be happy.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know,
I'm thinking they're not going to do nothing with iPad OS either. So that's why I haven't bought no M1 or nothing like that because I don't think they're going to do anything with iPad OS. You know.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got somebody. Tech Preacher, you call it. That's why Sony their smartphones are for video and photo professional. Yeah, that's it. It's for video and photo. And you know what? I think they get a bad name when I see a lot of reviewers that review the Sony 1 Mark IV and the Sony 1 Mark V, right? A lot of reviewers don't review it for what it's intended to be. You can't review it as a smartphone. You got to review it as a video and photo professional device. And I think a lot of people, I've seen videos that people ain't even show no footage of the video or photos. You know, I've seen people that just talked about it as a smartphone and dragged it, you know, and it's not what it's for. It's like buying a PS5 and talking about something besides games. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's you know, it's like you buying a PS5, but you talking about everything else besides the games. You know,
Yeah, I mean, and that thing, when you review a device, a device, you got to look at what it's intended to be. Got to look at what it is. i3 prompter. I'm not gonna use it as a teleprompter.
Yeah, because of the Sony phones, the cameras, you have to sit there and you have to study it a little bit. You have to actually learn how to use it. You ain't just pulling out your pocket and taking a shot. It's not for auto mode. Does it even have auto mode? I don't think
No, it
so.
does.
Right?
It does. And actually, it's
okay.
improved on the 1 Mark 5.
Oh, okay.
It improved.
Okay. Yeah.
Because auto mode sucked on Sony phones. It was really bad.
Yeah.
No dynamic range. Focusing wasn't that good.
That's because they primarily want you to use manual, right?
Yeah, they just
that's how it was. Now, a lot of the night stuff is there, and it's funny. There's a guy. His name is Grounded Tech. He had the 1 Mark 5 for a little bit, and he was posting like daily pictures that he was taking, and people kept picking like, "Oh, this is the Apple. This is," and it was all auto mode. This is the Apple. This is the Samsung. This is the whatever. Yeah. And every time it was a Sony. It's like, yeah, the one that you said couldn't do auto mode is kicking everybody's tail right now.
See, D-Mills always trying to come up with something. What kind of changes did the iPad? Listen, man, I got like 15 iPads, bro. And I mean, they're all sitting up here. I want the iPad to be better than my Galaxy. How about that, fucker?
Hey,
I want the iPad to be better than my Galaxy. How about that?
So what would make it better? That's what. Yeah. So.
Oh well, a pure desktop mode would.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Exactly,
yeah. So the bottom line is just say you're not interested. Eric, you just got to say that I won't buy anything that doesn't have. Well, no. You're not buying Motorola for some reason, but it has to have desktop mode. Yeah, so
replace what I have.
So the only thing that you can realistically look at right now is Honor, Huawei, and Motorola. Those are the only things you can look at because everything has to have a desktop mode and possibly pen support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not, you're not in the market for it.
I mean, I got iPad sitting right here. Somebody said iPad. Let me see. I got iPad. Look at this. Look how much dust on this iPad. God damn. This iPad got so much dust on it.
Yeah, but you don't need to buy one until it has the features that you want.
And I got this iPad sitting right here. I got this iPad and I got this iPad, but it's full of dust. I got like 15 iPads.
Yeah.
But I use the iPad because on my Zoom F6, they have the Bluetooth plug-in that I can control my Zoom on iPads. I can't control it on the. It's an app only on iPad. Yeah, it's an app only on
Michael
iOS.
Pepper said you might want to check out Stage Manager. He said Stage Manager beats Dex in some ways. And Dex beats in other ways.
I heard. Michael Pepper also put a comment that did better. I do want to see better Stage Manager. Right there, it's right there. So he got better lock screen customization.
No, there's actually he talks about Stage Manager down. There's another one where he talks about Stage.
Oh, he got okay. Stage Manager, okay, beats Dex. Okay.
So you might want to check that out. I
could probably do Stage Manager on the crappy ones that I got sitting right here. I mean, they're not M1s. Do you have to have M1? Because I got the one just before the M1.
Let me see. I'm on.
Oh, that Intel.
No. That's with A14X chips in them or something like that. Yeah, no, they don't have no Intel. They have the A14, A17 chips in them or something.
Yeah, you might want to try that. You might end up liking it better than that.
Yeah, I might. I'm gonna try Stage Manager.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of videos of Stage Manager.
Sir?
You can drag and drop. Like it's like everything becomes one. Like your Mac goes to any of you just drag and drop it all over.
Let's see. Okay, if I got okay. Hey.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Gwendolyn
right.
G. Because some reason, the site I'm on Apple, they're like we're the support site. We don't want to tell you.
Oh, so Michael Pepper said M1.
Oh, M1 for Stage.
When did it say 2018?
So that probably was M1.
It might be. That was it. No, it
couldn't be M1.
2021, huh?
When did M1 come? No,
yeah, M1. We about to hit M3, so that has to have been in 2021.
What up, Ish9?
What up, Ish?
Oh, Ish in the building, man. Been a minute, sir.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Apple putting all this power. And look, I understand. Probably they put this power in these iPads for future, for stuff like Final Cut.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not implementing them right. Like people call for pro software. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's see what Apple does. Dub next week, y'all. Apple got to bring the thunder.
Rubber dub, nigga.
I mean, they have all year to plan for this shit. They can't come out and fuck around. They'll find out.
Yeah, but you need to try Stage Manager because they're not they're probably going to invest in Stage Manager. Stage Manager is dope to see if that will work for you, but they're not going to do it. Dex,
I mean, the only thing that I really truly like about the Samsung is that when I plug in the SSD, you plug in SSDs and multiple monitors, it works. I mean, it's seamless working, and that's the only thing. Listen. I use Mac Studio, right? So I mean, I'm all in on the Mac, but I do so much on my Deck Station because if I do something at my business, because I got my Z Fold 3 sitting over there, it doesn't move. It's sitting right there in my business with multiple monitors connected. And then once I do some work over there, then I come home and I get my Deck Station. I finish the job.
Yeah, but so like all the stuff that you're talking about, you can do with a Motorola. Like they support all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I think you should try. I think you try it out because the thing is, that's a lot of money you can save. Like you're buying expensive Samsungs when you can buy a $399 latest last year's Snapdragon on the with pin support and just to have that as an option.
Yeah. Let's see what DML's talking about. What's the newest iPad I have? I don't know, bro. Like I haven't bought an iPad in a couple of years, so I don't know. I have no idea, bro. I don't know. I really don't know. I got the big iPad. I think maybe 2020 iPad. It was the last one I bought. I didn't buy the 2020. I didn't buy no M1. So if the M1, whenever the M1 came out, I didn't buy it.
Oh, thank you, Gwendolyn. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yep, it does say the 12.9 inch 5th generation or 11 inch 3rd generation. So, all right. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn. Always coming.
So that was 2018 or 2019.
Let's see. When is the 5th generation? Actually, I can tell you what the 5th generation is by looking. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna go to Apple.
Let's see. Michael Pepper said. Bixby routines are solid, man. Bixby suck. Don't give Bixby no praise. Bixby fucking suck, like for real. Bixby is not great. It has not been great. It's still not better,
great. Bixby or Siri?
I would say fucking Siri suck too, but I mean, if I had to choose between Siri and Bixby,
and you take Siri.
I take Siri because Siri got an attitude. Really? Bixby fucking sucks.
I don't like Bixby, but I would use the routines. I just can't use Siri at all.
I'll take Siri Bixby over Siri.
I have Siri launches Google Assistant for me.
I mean, I take Google Assistant. Yeah. Both of them is trash.
Google, Siri's ready to assist you. Hey Siri.
I forget what it is, but it's basically if I say something, it just activates.
I mean, Siri is terrible. And Apple tried to fix Siri at one keynote address. They talked about upgrades to Siri. That's like 4 or 5 years ago when Apple came out and said we're updating Siri, and Siri sucked. I mean they need to hire the Google team to help Siri. I mean Samsung need to do the same thing.
Yeah, so I saw that was an article I was on the Turn Stage Manager on. So, it has it as well. Okay, yeah. All right, cool.
Let's see. Someone should do a video, a comparison.
Agreed.
Ready for it. I think they do got videos out there. I don't have no Motorola devices that have Ready for, so I don't.
And this guy on this panel should do one. Mm-hmm. Battle of all time: Dex versus Ready for. 400.
I'm done.
Is the Samsung S23 Ultra $800 better than this $400 phone that has pen support and Ready for? Let's find out.
Get your popcorn ready.
Ready.
That's
and
right. Get that
follow me
popcorn ready
on this journey.
And follow me on this motherfucker.
Let's go.
I tell you what, I was drinking the other night, right? And I was thinking about turning on the camera and filming. And I had my script ready, right? And I was about to read it. And as I was reading the script, I was a little, under the sauce. And I did say that. I said, get your fucking popcorn ready.
Hey.
But I didn't have the camera running. So that could have been like a bloopers video I could have made.
Could have
right?
been.
Oh,
I could have made a
wow.
bloopers video.
Oh, look at Wayne.
He's like,
Look at
Sansa
Wayne.
got easy about a, you know what?
Ooh,
Man, you wait.
sir.
So for everybody that's watching this live stream, you got to wait to the last 10 seconds of this live stream. I got something for D-Man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I got something for this. motherfucker.
Watch the last 10 seconds of this live stream. I promise you, y'all will know. It said, that's right. Get GPT on it. Man, that's right. They got people that let chat GPT do their whole scripts for them. I'm not at that point yet. I like to type my own shit, man. I don't want chat doing nothing for me.
Hey.
I like when I type my shit, that's my mind, my thoughts. I don't want no fucking AI telling me to say something. No.
It can help you though, Eric.
It could, and I'm sure that that's the future. But I like it's a for me when I'm typing my script. It's a I don't know. It's something between me and my computer as I'm typing. Right, I'm typing my script. I'm giving my thoughts, everything that I'm thinking about, misspelling everything and all that. I'm just typing, and then once I recite it a couple of times, and I go back and the mistakes that I made, I go back and I fix it and stuff like that. And so the script to me is my thoughts of the product that I'm reviewing. I don't want ChatGPT to tell me about the product, my thoughts about the product that I'm reviewing, into something that they don't know my thoughts about. That's why I can't use it, because I mean, look, I can use ChatGPT that's for specs. Just say, okay, give me the specs for this product, because you can't get the specs wrong.
Right.
But as far as my thought process about the product that I'm reviewing, I think that's personal, that's individual. And I know people using ChatGPT to do their scripts and stuff, but I mean, I can't do that. Like, I can't. I'm not at that point yet.
Sure you can.
Can't do it, man. Can't do it. Now, when I'm doing this video with these Engine 4s that I'm reviewing right now, I got that video coming out.
You talking about these niggas?
Yeah, I'm talking about these. Yeah.
Talking about them niggas right there?
Yeah.
I'm already done with my video, and I got it pushed and ready for June 6th, is it?
Yeah, mine gonna come out by June 6th. It's not out yet, so I didn't want to drop it early. So I'm taking my time with it. I got 4 or 5 days to type it up and film it and shit. But I filmed part of it already, so I got most of it filmed out. So
I had them motherfuckers. I had them for about 3 weeks now.
Really? I just got mine about 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I delayed them because we was in it. We've been negotiating. The negotiating process takes a little bit. So by the time we got the numbers right, and it worked out. That's why I got mine late.
Hey, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Hey. He said numbers right. They ain't run no numbers by me. They just said, here's the product. Here's the product for free.
You gotta get the numbers right.
I want them.
Let me tell you something, man. Shit.
I did hear back from a company while we were live streaming. I gave them some numbers, and they was like,
"Yeah." I mean,
think it's fair. I think it's fair.
I mean, the thing about it is, when you're doing YouTube and you get to a certain level, man, when you're putting out quality videos, man, at that point you want to get compensated for the hard work that you put in. That's it. Whether or not people agree with you or don't agree with you, man. When you putting 40 hours and 60 hours into YouTube, you want to. I mean, think about it. If you worked on a job making $20 an hour, you put 40 hours in, you get paid for it. That's the same thing I look at. This is a business. This ain't no fucking playhouse. I'm not doing this for free. I'm not doing this for fun.
So real quick, Will Les, to go back to ChatGPT, I saw this and
yes,
like this is literally really happened. This is real life.
Did he get hit with plagiarism or something?
Of course, and he was. But it wasn't just that. It was a lot of the stuff was fake.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just like, what? I mean, you went through all this school and you don't have common sense to double check stuff. Like you were that lazy. You're like, I don't got time to double check.
I can't do chat GPT. That gets, I've heard of somebody, a couple of people losing their jobs and stuff like that.
Hey.
Plagiarizing, in college and stuff. I mean, people get hit with plagiarism and stuff like that in college using chat GPT. Man, you lose your degrees and stuff off of that type of stuff. You can't do your dissertation. You can't do a dissertation based off of chat GPT. That means you sit out there and drink beer all night. You let an AI do your whole paper for you.
Wrote the whole paper.
I agree.
John Morant did it.
Yeah.
John Morant wrote his. Well, he let Chat GPT write his apology.
Mm-hmm.
Apology.
You know how that worked.
Gee whiz,
I don't give a damn.
That's crazy. Yeah, he should be disbarred. Probably will get disbarred. He probably get this. And look, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's scary how they really pushing AI. Listen, man, we have to pay attention to this. I want y'all guys to really pay attention to this AI stuff. I've seen videos with robots. I've seen videos with AI that's even on YouTube. You see all these AI generated videos where people talk, and it's AI the way they talking, no breathing or something. It just, it sounds like a robot. Some of these YouTube channels is popping up, and it's all AI. It's all AI generated.
Especially those top whatever. Just say you're looking for.
The top 10,
like the top gaming desk.
The top this, and that's all AI. And I'll watch AI. Like 2 seconds of the video and I cut it off because I know there ain't a person. You know, I mean, I can't get with a person that doing a full review. That's not a person that's doing a full review of a product that never even used a product. They'd use an AI to generate a narrative. But I mean, we going to this AI era, and I think it's going too fast. If you ask me, man, I mean, it's all over the place now. And they talk about AI cameras, AI this, AI that. Everything is AI right now, and I think, man, it's definitely going really fast.
Definitely.
I mean, the personal part of reviews is from a person. And I think that's the point that a lot of people need to know that, when somebody use a product, they give you their thoughts about the product. And it's their opinion. And everybody got different stuff. That's why you have, when you watch different reviews, you get different opinions. Some people will say that they like the product. Some people will say they don't like the product. I like to listen to both arguments. And I don't hit nobody in the comments and that say you wrong, you lied and stuff. No, you listen to both arguments and you come up with a conclusion of yourself. Like, I know, I watch a couple of people. I watched a couple of YouTube videos that bashed the Pixel 7 Pro. Valid arguments, right? You watch a video that praise them. Valid arguments. And you got the phone. I got the phone itself, and I look at it, and I can see why people have certain issues here or there and stuff like that. And I think when you review a product, and I just bring up the Pixel 7 Pro at that, I'm just saying, you have to decipher the difference between real and fake. Because I'm gonna tell you, when the Pixel Fold come out, it's a whole lot of fucking drama. You think you've seen drama with a lot of devices. The Pixel Fold will probably tear the internet up with bad and good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a video that I kept getting sent to me, and people were like, "Hey, Barry, what is your thought process?" It was on the Pixel 7 Pro. It was just being passed around like a couple of weeks ago. What are your thought process on this video? I think it was very well done. And I finally had to push back on people. I'm like, I don't know what you guys want me to say.
Yeah.
The dude had a phone that he should have ARM made.
Yeah.
If you have a phone that you're supposed to RMA, why am I going to praise the video when I'm the whole time I'm going to be like, what? Scoop got a broken camera, and he's reviewing it like it's not broken. Like I'm supposed to pretend like you don't have a broken phone all of a sudden. You're taking it seriously, like that. This is how it performs. No, I can't get behind that. So I made, so that's my whole thing. It's like I think we have to understand that that's what's going to happen with Google, and it's like, who cares? I mean, you just encourage people to get what they like, be cognizant of who they're watching, and take it was sort of like I told you about the Fuji. Fuji comes out with a fire camera, and people, all they wanted to say is, man, it has 4K 60, which most cameras in that price range can't do. It's a great mid-range. It's a great backup camera to your main camera. It can do 6K open K. It's a great backup camera. What are you saying, sir? How is this a backup camera?
So who said which camera?
I'm like, what are you talking about? This is crazy.
What line of cocaine are you snorting to say? We're talking XH2S that is literally a freaking monster of a camera.
Hey, and you know what? The thing about it is, if you have a person that does have issues, and listen, we document the issues, we talk about it. I had overheat issues with the Pixel 6 or whatever. I don't know. I talked about it in the video. The Pixel 7, and I got a new one. Right? Yeah. I sent the shit back. Give me a new one. It's okay. A couple of updates later, it's okay. It's good. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, but just so everybody knows, I wasn't referring. This happened a couple of weeks ago. Like everything that could have gone bad with the phone went bad with this phone. And I'm supposed to take this seriously. I'm like, I can't even. You took me out the video now. Like, all I can see is, because I'm gonna do you like I do everybody. If someone comes to me with all these problems, I'm like, return the phone.
Yeah,
return the phone.
Yeah. Just return and get another one.
Oh, return merchandise authorization. So basically what happens when you get on the phone, so you get a new phone, you get a OnePlus 11. I hadn't had an issue. But you get a OnePlus 11, you're like, hey, man, this is the worst phone ever. You document with the manufacturer, like, hey, it's doing this, it's rebooting randomly, blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, to these series tests. Oh, yeah, we see the same thing. We're going to send you a return of merchandise authorization. So they'll send you a shipping label with this number, right? And that's how they can track it through the system. Yeah, you're right. We got your OnePlus 11, and for some reason, one of the main assemblies was like literally not connected. It wasn't soldered all the way. So I think as it was heating up, it was separating, and that was causing your reboots. Whatever, right? But the bottom line is that's what you need to do. You need to take and engage companies if you're having a problem, instead of just saying, I'm just going to accept that I spent $1,000 or $700 and I'm supposed to be happy with it. Your new phone should not perform considerably worse than your old phone, unless you went and said, hey, I'm gonna buy a phone that was $50. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, if you're spending about the same amount, you should not be like, man, I get this phone. I get 1 hour battery life every day. And be happy with it. No,
$50. No.
I think ChatGPT is further ahead, personally.
Right. What up with your Scoop? You all right?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh,
Scoop,
that's
you get
funny.
You get that Helios yet?
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, with that Helios.
14th.
Oh, okay.
That's true, yo. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Just in time to do a photo shoot at the Neon Museum after dark, after they close for
Nice.
Yeah. No, we get it, Scoop. We get it. Yeah. I was talking about the XS20, Scoop. That was the camera that they're bashing. Yeah.
I mean, body-wise, it is their mid-range XS.
Body.
Yeah.
It does punch way above its weight class.
Yeah, look, even Doodle saying those type of issues, return the phone. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? So I know we got, real quick. So 10:54. So it's 10:54. So we have a few minutes left in the stream. Tomorrow we should have Mike and Ike. Don't forget Easy as a podcast, and look out for Juan and TK Bay tomorrow night. On Friday we have Holla at Your Boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On Sling, he really hasn't been streaming as much, but look for his podcast. He has a really good podcast called Bourbon and Blunts. A lot of good discussions. So they might touch on WWDC one day. They might touch on, what happened in the news, someone changing a camera sensor, whatever. They do a really good job of going into detail. Then we'll have El Jefe. I believe he's back. So El Jefe will be here on Sunday.
On Sunday, yep.
Then Monday at noon, we have Juan. I believe we have Lewis will be going on at 7. And I think T will be going on Monday night. And then we have Gigi on Tuesday.
Yep.
And then we're back here.
That's right. That's right. So we got a full lineup. And when is WWDC? Is next Tuesday?
Isn't it like the 6th or the 5th?
Okay.
Or something?
But that means they're going to be Wednesday. So I guess we'll be talking about Dub next week.
Yeah.
Dub.
And hopefully, so there's rumors that the M3 is actually delayed. So hopefully it's not.
Yeah. Sounds look. It's the 5th. That means that's Monday.
Yeah, if I thought it was the 5th
Monday.
or the 6th, one of them.
Okay. Well, there it is, Monday. So we gonna have us some fun come next Wednesday. We're gonna talk about Dub. See what Apple bring to the table. See what kind of new OS. I'm excited for to see what that iPad OS go do. And
It's
Mac
not
OS
going to do what you say, Easy.
And I know they're gonna do, but I like to see what they gonna do. Some enhancements. Of course, they're just not going to bring everything to the table.
Yeah.
But if they bring the M3, then let's see what kind of power they put behind it. Because Samsung about to drop the 9 in next month. So let's see what it's gonna be.
So what would you do if the iPad dropped with desktop mode and was like Mac OS?
That'd be fucking great. If it was close to Mac OS, which Apple, we know that Apple never do it, but if it was close, look, I you know what I need for my iPad? This is what I want for my iPad. I want an
You
iPad.
have a very advanced teleprompter. That's what you're going to have.
I need Apple to bring to put two and I need Samsung to do this too. They need more ports on their tablets instead of that one port. I mean, you got to buy a extender with all kinds of ports on it, but it would be nice to have an extra port on USB-C port on it, Thunderbolt port on it for the iPad. I mean, they put so much power in it. Why not put another Thunderbolt port on it, right? I think we got Stage Manager, Thunderbolt port. If you could connect, open up the file system a little bit, connect, SSDs to it and stuff like that. I think that'd be wonderful. I mean, listen, I love the smoothness of iPad. I really do. Look, the Max is fucking great, right? I mean, I only use Windows for live streams. Other than that, I'm all on Mac.
Ben's Gadgets was using the SD card.
But everybody said
with Final Cut.
That what everybody else was saying. They did. I know
like he actually showed videos. He actually showed videos of him doing it. Not SSD, but SD cards.
Oh no! You can do SD cards. I'm talking about SSD.
Yeah. So that's what Mem would say. SD card would be
okay.
Would be dope.
I mean, I think that's if they want to cater, because you have a lot of professionals that use iPads, right? Mm-hmm. And to have, the Stage Manager, which is a step up, but getting into the file system a little more, maybe putting another Thunderbolt port on there, and that's all I need for iPad.
Oh, okay, you're being actually integrated in. I got you. Now I got you.
Right, and that's pretty much because I mean. The app.
But this is what I always tell you.
Laptop.
So this is my whole thing. This is my whole thing with Easy. Is what I tell a lot of people. Like I was having a conversation with Uno Nice. Uno Nice had told me like 10 to 20 different things that he saw wrong with the Pixel Fold. I'm like, well, you don't see these things wrong with the Samsung Fold, so just keep your Samsung. Like, you know, like realistically, the competition that you have right now for your deck station is a Motorola. It's not an Apple. That Apple is, we're wishing and hoping and prayer that they change all these different things to get where they're a competitor. When you got a Motorola right now that is an actual true competitor. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't think Apple's going to be the answer.
But we'll see Dub next week. Hopefully y'all get y'all popcorn ready for next week, because we're gonna be in here. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, Mim's gonna be in his basement. And he gonna be piping away. Before we get out of here, I just want listen. I want everybody to listen to me very carefully. I want everybody to listen to me very carefully before we get out of here. And I'm gonna put some fucking. I'm you know what I'm gonna do? Put some love music on. I want everybody to click on Mim's profile, and then you go to his YouTube channel. And if you subscribe to his channel, hit the unsubscribe button. And if you are subscribed, go in one of his comments and say, fuck off. I want all y'all to go to his comment on one of his videos and say, easy, say, go fuck off. Do that for me. I need everybody to do that. Go to Mim's
Why
YouTube.
is it so petty?
No. I don't want you to unsubscribe. I want you to say subscribe, because I don't want to lose and come crying like a little bitch talking about, well,
why is he so angry?
Because no, Mills been fucking with me all day. I told him I was gonna get him at the end of this stream. See you,
D-Mills, Albert.
Turn the other cheek, dog.
No, I want D-Mills. I want people to go to D-Mills YouTube channel and say, easy, say, fuck off. But we gonna get a look. He gonna get all them, what they call them, hold for in YouTube studio, right? They hold comments. All the comments gonna be held, right? And he gonna be going on there. He gonna say,
so
easy, say, fuck off. Easy, say, fuck off. Easy, say, fuck off.
Hey. Well.
All right, guys, we out of here, y'all.
We out. Fuck off, y'all.
That's right. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Mims. Why I'm angry? Because D-Mims can fuck off.